Hey y'all, welcome to Alliecat Customs. Today I have a really big milestone accomplished. We have this truck put together and are about to set the ride height on it. So y'all stick around. All right, y'all, so we got a lot of parts of this build is starting to come together and converge into getting this thing ready to put on its tires. But to do that, I have a whole list of things I need to do to the truck. I need to be able to set ride height and all kinds of stuff before I can do the rest of the fab work on the shock mounts, sway bar, stuff like that. So I got to get the axle together enough to mount tires. And as you can see right here, the axle is still sitting on the stands where I just got done narrowing it and doing a bunch of work to it. And here's my list of so far I have for the truck. I got to put drop hangers on the leaf springs, fix the center pins in the leaf spring perches, fix the bed for the C-notch and install it, install the C-clip limiter shafts and all that for the axles so I can mount the tires. And then, of course, since Chandler has some fancy wheel racing wheels and some fancy lug nuts on it, we're not sure that they're going to jive with the wheel studs. So we got to check and make sure those work out. And then we set the ride height when we get to bed, sitting on the truck, axle in place, and see if we need to go up or down on the ride height to get the attitude just right. And then I can start burning some welds in and get the rest of the build done. So let's get started. So first we got to snatch the springs off to swap the front hangers. I didn't use any anti-seize on this slider alignment sleeve when I put it together, and of course it seized up. So the next time it goes together, it's getting the gray goop of doom on it. And the torso is wrong. Okay, let's not do that. Oh, son of a...
Put a little weight with it for a lot.
That's a real deal bar.
Yeah, there's your bar for pulling on the Madison.
Dad saw me with this thing. Don't you lift my hex bar, get away. Dad, I've had that thing here for 20 years. Yeah, that was a bit sketchy. The truck is strapped to the lift, so it wasn't going anywhere, but it's still not a fun feeling when it moves around like that. That big bar stock will keep the truck balanced out until we get the suspension back under it. Next up is to remove the front hangers, so a grinder, blue wrench, and an air hammer made short work of it. The new hangers had the wrong size bolt holes, but at least they were also not drilled in the correct spot either. So I drilled them out and used a die grinder to make them fit. Aftermarket parts are fun, right?
Oh, here we go. The process begins.
You're gonna have it on your ear next.
I've done it now. I might have to give her a little peppy tap.
It didn't go all the way.
I don't think so. No. Yeah, we'll have to give her a little tap. Just bump it.
Yep. Otherwise, it'll get dirty because it'll hit the floor.
Put this down before I do any further damage.
You'll have it on your
It's all irritating.
every time. Come up to this hair, Cole. Oh, you're good. You're good.
Money.
Yeah, because that's the alignment pin sleeve.
We'll go.
You want me to come up some more with it?
You're good. It's good where he's at. You can let go of it now. Yeah.
Another tappy tappy? Yeah, we may have to give her a bump.
It should roll through, slide through.
It needs to go up more. That
Oh no, pick the spring up. Yeah, pick the spring up.
There you go.
Because pick the spring up and then it'll slide in.
Yep. That's all she needed.
Yeah. Because then it fits in a trough.
And we're adding a little bit of weight back on trucks. It won't be as sticky.
It's nice. Cole's like, now I understand. They just needed my muscles.
they got me to get that.
Where's the bolt at over there? Oh, right in his face.
When you're putting that in the top hole back there, which
Yeah, you're going top.
position. There. All right, now take your bolt and slide it through. Where's my bolt? Right here. Stick that there. And put that on the back side.
When we figure out where the hole is, that the nut will probably be tack welded to that thing. Because there's no way to get it down there.
Oh.
You can, yeah. Don't even worry about the nut.
Yeah, because
Yeah, no. Set the nut up here. Set the nut up here.
it's time to fight that.
Yeah, we'll fight that battle when it comes.
Oh, is it like encased in there?
Yeah. These Calvert split mono springs were sold for a truck, so the center pin is installed to locate on an axle mounted below the spring. Since we are running a spring under setup, the center pin needs flipped around. It's pretty simple stuff. Just clamp the spring and then remove the bolt and reinstall it in the opposite direction.
I guess you're gonna have to go under her.
You got your bolt ready, Cole?
No, where's the bolt over there?
It's in there.
It's in the chip.
In.
That started getting heavy real quick.
Because it was above your.
Curl at the end is the
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like right here. I was like, I got just a little bit.
Yeah, it was above
I'm
both of
not
y'all's
going,
height.
going back past here.
Well, that's why you saw. I said, he's not gonna get up. I was like, this.
Was it recording?
Yeah. All right,
Are you standing in front of it?
go ahead.
Now you're putting your.
Now we gotta go your way. And you put the
Put the thing.
put the weld.
Catch that.
Yeah, put the weld in the center of the spurs.
Oh, that's what you're doing. Sorry. I don't know what's going on. There.
Essentially, the weld is supposed to be in the center of the perch.
Okay.
We'll measure to confirm once we get everything set up.
Yeah, because I'm a little towards me on it right now. Okay.
Now the springs can wiggle and all that, but so
You wanna go ahead and stand the bed up while everybody's ready to,
yeah, while everybody's picking things up.
I guess, you wanna use that welding blanket, I guess,
We can set it on we set it on these
on the cribs?
on the cribbings. Yep.
Okay. You ready? It's definitely.
Yeah, without the tailgate on it, you notice it quick. Ready?
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
In my C-notch install video, I said I needed to cut a support rib under the bed of the truck for clearance, so that's what we're doing. We also removed the exhaust heat shield as well. The slider mounts stick up above the frame, so we had to clearance the rear bed rib also.
Oh my God, I can't believe you put water in a $1,000 fuel cell.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yep. We're actually literally pouring water in.
It'll be fine.
Yep.
Everybody settle down.
This one of those hydro engines, isn't it?
Yeah. No, we're the hydrogen engines. Water is 8.5 pounds. Fuel is 6 pounds. So we're fudging ride height with a full tank of fuel, and give or take some of the weight is for the extra weight like fuel pumps and yada yada. So I'd rather have water in the fuel cell because I have to weld on it, and I don't want to have a gas in the fuel cell, or fumes from gas in the fuel cell. So water it is.
Let that run.
That's how much 22 gallons is till you have to fill it up. Yeah, Cole said this car's only 18 and a half. So this ain't, I mean, this ain't crazy small.
And my Trans Am's 16.
So 22, I mean, that's a
Heck, my 04 2500, I think, is 25, 26.
See, I think that was a 24 or 26.
Yeah.
It is taking like 6 minutes to fill this tank up.
Yeah, my whole thing about not being scared of not having enough gas kind of went away. This is definitely a decent little amount of gas.
Right.
That's gotta be.
That'll work.
Hey, first full tank in the fuel cell.
Let's go ahead and crank it up.
Yeah, on that hydropower. Set your end down, Shane.
Okay, well, I can't because the fenders are touching the bolt.
Yeah. Go up.
Now, all right, I'm fixing to pull my fingers out.
Yep,
Before
go
I'm
ahead.
ready.
Yeah.
There it is.
Go that way about an inch.
It ain't easy, but it's not terrible. either.
It's just awkward.
I can actually see this. Watch your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, that was actually really close.
Yep. I'm about a quarter inch off right here. We're pretty much right there. Well, that, I mean, barely. Actually, I mean, you could about go this way. I mean, just
This way?
just a smidge.
Let me see if I can give it a little bit.
Yeah, just a bump. Yep,
Right there, that'll work.
and then it maybe needs to go forward a half inch. I can probably do it right here. There it goes, right there.
Dude, that's
You
square.
make that work right there.
It almost sounded like it went home, man. It kind of.
So you got a little dirt mark right there, and it's pretty much right there on the money.
Okay.
And once you take it and pull it down, it maybe go this way just to,
Alrighty, well, it's starting to look like a truck again. Yesterday I got all the crew together so I could do a lot of the heavy lifting. We got the axle set in place and installed, got the bed flipped up on end, and everything cut out from under the bottom of the bed so it would fit back over the step C notches. Got it put on. We filled the fuel cell full of water, so it's got 22 gallons of water in it, and of course water weighs a little bit more than fuel, but we're trying to get the approximate ride height, and this truck still doesn't have an exhaust in it. So you add, if you factor in the weight of, an exhaust, the unsprung side of the spring or the shocks and sway bar and some other things like that, it gets kind of close, kind of fudge the numbers to get an approximate ride height on this truck. So with all that out of the way, today I get to do a lot of the small little things that I can do without having some extra hands around. And one of the big things is I'm about to cut these lug studs down so I get the wheels installed. Once I get the wheels installed, we can set this truck in the ground and start checking ride height. Once we get ride height established on this truck, then a whole lot of other steps are about to fall into place. So about to get started working again. Well, we're already starting the day off strong. I measured to figure out how long I needed these lug studs cut down so I could fit these closed face lug nuts on here. And when I screwed the lug nuts on, they felt like they fit the threads fine. Screwed them all the way down, screwed them back off. Nothing felt anything odd. I didn't, of course, if it screws on or screws back off, you don't check or think to check the thread size and pattern and whether it's metric or standard. And I wasn't involved in ordering the axle shafts and the studs or even the wheels and tires. So when it screwed on there, I didn't even bother to check that the threads were metric or standard. Turns out after cutting the lug studs, I put the lug nuts on. They screwed on just fine. I cleaned the edge of the cut mark up, and they threaded on just fine. I wanted to see how far down it would go, see if I had plenty of distance to go down, so for the clamping force on the wheel. And by hand, get down to the very bottom, and the threads jump. But when you back the threads off, when you screw it off, these spin just as well as they spin on the factory lug studs. So these are a M14 by 1.50 factory lug stud and a factory size lug nut for this truck, for the 99 or 2000 model Chevrolet truck. And apparently the lug studs are a half 20. I checked the threads after it skipped and seen, and apparently on this, it's close enough that they will actually screw on. They just will hop the threads when you try to tighten them up. So, yeah, bright and early in the morning and already starting off strong. But I guarantee one thing, they'll hold the wheel and tire on the truck good enough to check ride height. And when I take the rear end apart, we're getting our right lug studs or lug nuts to work. And we'll make this happen. So since I've already cut off 6 of them, I'm gonna go cut the other 6 off and get the wheels and tires on this thing. And I'm checking ride height today, no matter what. So, yeehaw. As I say, the joys of hot rodding. Well, it's sitting on the ground on its own weight. And I do believe that this truck is dang near the old C10's ride height, because it barely is able to get the lift arms under it. And of course, the bed is not quite on because the bed is touching the step notch. So we have a little bit of height difference. I mean, like a little less than a ½ inch, but it's very, very close. As you can see, she's tucked in there just a hair, both sides. So, yeah,
I always say that the attitude is definitely improved on this little blue monster. The bed's going to come down probably a half inch over the rear tires when I finish cutting the ribs out to clear the step notch. And this thing will be bad to the bone.
Man, I am super stoked. So I've been under the truck past hour or so. I did some measurements, got ride height, checked clearances on some things. I made sure that everything looked pretty good, where the suspension was lining up, and how the bed, the tires and stuff fit in the fender wells, and I'm pretty happy with it. I sent the pictures to Chandler to get an okay from him on what he thought the ride height and stuff looked like for him, and he is blown away. He loves the way it looks, and you know how we got the rear tires narrowed and tucked up in the fenders. It's not 100% set. The truck is about to come right back apart, about to pull the bed off, and then I will be able to do a whole lot of, do the rest of the work. This is a huge milestone, and this step right here is the key that unlocked the rest of this build. Now that I have ride height established and I know the ballpark and know where adjustments can be made from this point, that allows me to do everything to finalize ride height. And then once I get the ride height finalized, I can set pinion angle. Once I get the pinion angle set, then I can install the aftermarket shocks, the aftermarket sway bar, measure for the drive shaft, and then the truck comes all the way apart. Then I want to actually build the rear axle, and then final assembly begins. We'll paint the frame and everything, get everything nice and clean, and start going back with the final assembly on it. So still have a whole lot of work to do to this truck. But for the rest of this evening, I think I'm just going to sit back and enjoy what we have accomplished this weekend, because we had this was a haul to get this truck together to this point. And I'll start fresh on it. And once I get some rest and get back out here and get this truck taken back apart. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all found it helpful and all that. And if you did, make sure you hit like and make sure you leave a comment. I like reading the comments and seeing what y'all think about the truck, about these videos and stuff. I love talking to y'all. And if you want to see the rest of this build, make sure you hit subscribe so you can keep up with all that I'm doing right here at Alliecat Customs.